This was over 23 years ago. And now we still have folks with the advent of Zoom and Microsoft Teams and all other forms of communication that really only require an internet connection and of limited cost to anyone. We still are charging the exorbitant rates to folks that are incarcerated. And this is not really a charge to them. This is a charge to innocent people who are free, that are having to communicate with people that are in prison at this time. So it's not really even a penalty necessarily on the people that are in prison. It's a penalty on their loved ones and people that want to communicate with them. And again, in a time where we can do most of this for free or of little charge, I don't even see why this is that hard of something of an idea to come up with. Other states are doing this now. You can work with Microsoft, you can work with Zoom and other providers. You do need an internet connection, but I don't know any government facility that doesn't have high-speed internet at this time. So that's the gist of it. I can tell you all the benefits that go along with it. We know when people are incarcerated and able to communicate with their loved ones, it reduces the rate of recidivism. It reduces the rate of violence within the prison system itself. And so there are a host of benefits that come with this. And so I'd certainly take on any questions, and I don't know if we have people that support our position.
We do have cards. Representative LaFleur.
Yes, thank you for this bill. And as I told the people in the audience earlier, I did not practice in criminal law, but I am and did practice in public utility law. So I'm really confused about why your bill is here and not in commerce. This is a PSC regulated item. It's not a criminal matter. So I don't know why it's
Certainly
here.
not a criminal matter.
I don't want you to take much offense, but I think this should be recommitted to commerce, and that is my motion.
I would support that motion. This is a PSC regulated entity.
All right.
And,
Let me just, Rep. LaFleur, is your motion to make sure it's a proper motion, is your motion to, without action, recommend that the matter be recommitted without action
Yes.
to commerce?
Yes.
Okay. Rep. Bacola.
Mr. Chair, I've always, as I read the rule, I thought that was a motion that had to be made on the floor, with chairman of both committees present. I don't know if that's we can return this to the calendar without action, but I believe that the motion to recommit is something that has to go before the entire House.
Let me just let staff make a comment on whether or not on the motion. My understanding is there is a different procedure for the floor, but I do believe that that my understanding is the committee may report an instrument favorably, unfavorably, with amendments by substitutes, favorable with amendments by substitute, or without action with recommendation that it be recommitted to the committee on.
Yeah, I'm being shown we can recommend it, but that's not moving it. It still has to be approved by the floor, correct?
Well, we haven't, it has to go to the other committee first before it goes to the floor. So where we are right now, and if you want me to give you some more clarification from staff, I can. I believe that it's a proper motion to make a motion to, without action with recommendation that it be recommitted to a different committee. I believe that's a proper motion.
Okay, well,
Go ahead.
the bill is here. Witnesses are here. I just want to hear the bill today. And if we want to make that recommendation after testimony, then so be it. But I'm going to object to the motion at this time.
Okay. So right now we have a motion by Rep. LaFleur without action to recommend that this matter be recommitted to Commerce. And we have an objection to that motion by the Vice Chairman Bacola. Ms. Wyman, will you call the roll? And so members understand what we're doing. If you vote favorable, would be to recommit the matter to Commerce without action. A vote against would be to not do that and continue where we are right now. Ms. Wyman.
Representative Edmiston? Representative Fontenot?
No.
No. Representative Garofalo? No. Representative Kudo? No. Representative Hodges? No. Representative Horton? No. Representative Knox? Yes. Representative LaFleur?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Marcel? Representative Muscarello? Representative Seabaugh? No. Representative Villa? No. I have 3 yeas, 8 nays.
Okay, so that motion is been handled. We are now to the part on cards. And we have 3, 4, 5 cards present in support. I'd like to ask the author to let me call up 3 at a time. We'll come back to the bill author. Christopher Johnson. Okay, again, we're going to do the same thing again, and ladies and gentlemen, if you can, if you're all with the same organization, try not to repeat or come in, because we still have more bills that we need to hear. And Christopher Johnson with vote, Chico Yancey and Megan Garvey, and then we have more after that. You can start.
Thank you for hearing me. I'm Representative Vogt. My name's Christopher Johnson. I'm from California. I just moved to this state, and I served time in San Quentin. California just passed the law of the bill to allow free phone calls as well as free tablets, and also the opportunity for us to video chat our loved ones. I think it's very detrimental for this not to be passed, because if you have the choice, if your phone bill is $500 and the people that are incarcerated and then the people that are in the free world don't have the opportunity, that they have to make a decision. Am I gonna pay this phone bill, or am I gonna allow communication with my loved one that's incarcerated to keep a foundation in the home? Also, the violence in San Quentin has went down tremendously. There are certain phones that we can't use in San Quentin. There's Caucasians, blacks, Hispanic phones, and it causes riots, it causes death in our prisons. So I just feel as though that we really need to take a look at if we are in favor of us being allowed to, the people here are incarcerated, to see their families through a video, to see them graduate. Why are we not in favor of us walking down the steps and talking to our children every day as they go to school, and asking when they come home and asking them how their day was, and still having that bond with our loved ones? That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Chico Yancey, Megan Garvey, and Bruce Riley. Okay.
I'm gonna be rather quick here as we're talking about free phone calls. The real deal is that this has become money making now on folks that love their loved ones on the inside. So a free phone call could really help people. Plus, we've all heard over the years through DLC that family connections really means something. So a couple of free phone calls for men and women that's incarcerated would really help the families. Right now, traveling, all these impediments that are put upon the families that it didn't do anything. Yes, the person is on the inside, but we need to think about, earlier we were talking about putting children in adult prison. Talking about putting children in adult prison. Surely they would have to have a phone call. And what's wrong with a free phone call? Like I said, I was gonna be brief, so I want you to think and do an humanitarian thing. It's all about doing the right thing. This is 2023. As Representative Jordan said, it used to be a pay phone. You go in, throw your quarter in. When I went to prison in 1983, South Central Bell. Y'all probably don't even know who South Central Bell is. And the phone call for my family, I could make a collect call. It was 82 cents. Now families are paying up as high as $7 and $8 for a phone call for 15 minutes. So I think this is a very good bill, and we should offer this to people.
Thank you, Mr. Yancey. Mr. Riley?
Thank you, Bruce Riley of Vote. You know, the other day, Representative Fontenot, you know, and I don't mean to call him out, you know, he's not in the room, but he made a comment about, you know, bringing solutions to this body. And, you know, some of the problems that we're hearing right now about violence and family, you know, disunification, this bill really is a solution. And the fact that it may impede upon some people who are preying upon folks' pain and sweat and love and tears to make a little extra dollars, you know, the cost of that is really about people's lives, and the cost is the pain that comes along with the phone stress. I think I was in jail about 2 days before the first time I saw somebody get knocked unconscious and have to be taken out to the infirmary, and I never saw that person again over the phone. I saw someone get killed over the phone when I was in prison. The phone is the main source of stress and the lack thereof of the phone, and the lines, as the gentleman was just speaking about, and the control of the phone. And by opening that up, a friend of mine was in Connecticut recently when they made similarly, they made, you know, national news by making the free phones for everybody incarcerated in Connecticut. And I said, like, what's that doing to the violence in there? And he just said, what violence? It just went poof. People now are like sitting in their cells, talking to their kids, talking to their loved ones, talking to their mom, you know, doing other things. They were on tablets taking classes. They were listening to music. They were like in a whole different zone than trying to knock somebody out because they were holding the phone too long. And it's just unconscionable that we can charge somebody to use the phone at a higher rate than the minimum wage.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Riley.
And I'll leave it at that.
Gentlemen, the three of you are all representing Vote, correct?
Yes, sir.
Would it be fair to say that you all agree on this topic?
Yes, we do.
Okay, because of the length of the agenda, I'm going to follow the chairman's edict and ask that you please select someone from your organization to come and testify and not take up the committee's time by having duplicative testimony.
May I respond to that, sir?
No. You can bring your comments to the chairman later on if you wish. Ms. Landu, Carla Landu? No affiliation?
One of you has to go and talk about yourself.
Very rude.